Expert Advantage Real Estate Show with Blake Sloan. Blake Sloan, one of the top real estate agents not only on the Grand Strand, but in the world. He's been featured in Forbes magazine, the Wall Street Journal, NBC, and many other publications. And now, the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show with Blake Sloan.
Welcome to Blake Sloan Real Estate Show. Brand new show this week. Exciting new stuff. All kind of stuff going on in real estate. We'll talk about kind of what's going on. Do the same thing we do every single week, which is just help provide value and information for Myrtle Beach real estate, national real estate, kind of dig into some stuff and just help you make better decisions with your largest assets. And so as we will go ahead and dig into the overall real estate market, kind of look at what's happening. Look at two different things. We'll look at what's gone under contracts, still been smoking hot, which is great news. Talk about interest rates. We'll also talk about what's happening in terms of closed deals. Some areas of the country have seen declines. We haven't seen that yet in terms of price, which is good. We're still seeing a lot of people right now relocate from other areas in the Northeast and different places that are kind of coming here just from all over. We're seeing West Coast, seeing a lot of the Northeast, like I mentioned, as well. We have one thing on this week's show that we didn't have time to get to last week, but a new huge news in terms of our award from our team. Recognized one of the top teams in the United States and Myrtle Beach area, which is super, super cool. We'll talk about that in the top 60 of all agents across the entire United States. So over 1 million people came in top 60. We'll talk about that. And that's really super cool for a small marketplace like Myrtle Beach. We're going against big, metropolitan areas like Dallas and Los Angeles, things like that. So we'll talk about that. My team also bought another property this past week from a home seller who wanted instant buyout, wanted convenience, fair pricing. And we did so with that, which is super cool. Also, we're in that summer market. Our team is hiring, and we'll talk about kind of what we're looking for. Anybody wants to serve clients at the highest level. But again, the same thing we do every week for the last 14 plus years. If you ever want to go back and listen to the show again, you can always go back, find it on YouTube. Just type in Blake Sloan Radio Show. You can also find it on Facebook under Sloan Realty Group, my personal page as well. And we also have those online in terms of a podcast. You can find those your favorite podcast portal as well. So a great show today for sure.
All right, a lot of stuff to get to. If you just tuned in for the very first time and you're not sure who you're listening to or what you're listening to, it's the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show, hosted by, of course, Blake Sloan. Blake Sloan has been called the real estate whiz kid. He's been featured in Forbes magazine, Wall Street Journal, Realtor magazine, and other national publications. You may be seeing him on TV with NBC and also with Fox and Friends with Morning Show. You've heard the personal endorsements here by Sean Hannity, also Barbara Corcoran, Gary LaVox. Put them all together, it's just totally unprecedented. Now, that's one thing, but the other thing is that Blake has trademark systems for both home sellers and home buyers. They are trademarked, so we can't give you all the details, but more than happy every week to tell you the most important part of that system.
Yes, and that's just the whole why and the reason that we do this show, and just kind of became a big thing, a calling card for me, and just a really a passion for me after just being in this business for so many years. Licensed for the first time in 2001, started selling real estate full time in 2005. And the reality is I've just seen so many horror stories over and over and over and over for almost 20 years. And it tends to be the same exact thing over and over and over. It doesn't matter how affluent people are, how many properties they sold, they still make the same mistake. The mistake they make is thinking that all real estate agents are the same. It could not be any further from the truth. Just like any doctor, any lawyer, if you're charged with a crime you didn't commit, the last thing you want is some part-time attorney who your friend recommended who's only tried a few cases. But for some reason, when you're dealing with real estate, people go with any agent, the cheapest one, somebody that their friend referred them to, instead of saying, look, how do I get the absolute best, the best value, even though the same price as everyone else, who can help protect my hard-earned equity in terms of that. And so the reality is the single most important variable that determines your failure or success as a home seller comes down to one thing only. And that thing is the agent that you choose, period. Not the wall color, not the grass quality. It comes down to the agent you have. And it really comes down to how they actually execute in the process. Because just like you go to a restaurant, you had a really good experience, and you went to a restaurant, had a really bad experience, it comes down to really the people that you have, because it's a service-based business, and service-based business means it has to do with humans. And so it's the same thing when you're dealing with real estate, but the difference here is the stakes are so much higher. Now you're talking about, for most people, their largest assets. You're also talking about a very long sales cycle where it takes a long time to get something, through a process of getting loans and doing inspections and things like that. And so what happens is there's a lot of balls to be dropped. What most people don't realize in selling a property, there's 118 different variables from A to Z. If each one's handled correctly, what it does is it puts money in your pocket, property gets sold. Anything's handled incorrectly, aka they drop the ball at any point. That could be anything from, does your agent answer the telephone when somebody calls? Do they have a for sale sign? Do they answer that number on the for sale sign? Does the agent respond to web leads that come through the internet, right? If they do, how long does it take them to respond? There's all these things like price strategy, negotiation strategy, all these things that make or break the home sale that are happening behind the scenes that most people don't realize. Most agents are dropping the ball. And the reality is the average agent on marketplace sells about 4 homes a year. And so that's one home per quarter. There's not a whole lot of experience to really understand the nuances and be proactive about that. They're just trying to survive in the business. And most times, if they're selling 4 homes a year, which is the average amount, they're going to throw you under the bus in 2 seconds because they're trying to pay rent next month. And so that's just the reality of how the market works. And that's why they're not negotiating hard for you, because they're just trying to get a deal and survive. It's unfortunate, but it's a crazy business that we're in with that. And we realize there's 118 variables, like I mentioned, from A to Z that has to happen the right way to get you the absolute best result as a home seller. Now, here's the problem with that. It's impossible for one single person to manage all those variables by themselves. Not to mention if they have multiple listings, which most agents do, because a lot of them don't sell, right? They're out there. They do the 3 Ps that we talk about all the time. They promise you will get the listing. Number 2, they put it into MLS. And 3, they pray that someone else brings a buyer to it. And meanwhile, they're down the street trying to get the next listing because they're trying to get something else to put on the books just because they're trying to survive. And it's very unfortunate for the consumer. And it does not bring the absolute best results most times, because that's just how the business has always been. I grew up in it, whole family did real estate, mom, dad, aunt, uncle, grandpa, grandma. I was in real estate offices when I was 2 and 3 years old, and went every single day after school. And I just saw this happen in the industry. And kind of when I got in, it's like, look, there's got to be a better way. There's got to be a way to look and see how people run real estate, how they run real businesses outside of real estate, and bring those same type of patterns and processes into real estate. And that's what I did. I sought out other coaches, other mentors in other industries outside of real estate, and said, how do we take it like a real business and run it like a real business so we have predictable results for our clients every single time? And that's exactly what we did. And so I went and sought out, and I said, how do we understand what has to happen in the right order to get predictable success for our clients? And that's exactly what we do. We mapped it out. That's why most agents don't even know those 118 variables. They're just winging it, trying to get to the squeakiest wheel, trying to hope, make sure that they can get the next deal potentially. Meanwhile, leaving massive amounts of equity on the table, or in many cases, what's happening right now in this new marketplace, that properties are not selling. Before, they would sell, right? Go 2 years, 12, 18 months ago, guess what? Anybody just got a license could take a cell phone photo on their cell phone, put it on MLS, and it would sell. Now, there's less buyers, interest rates are much higher, and the agent actually needs to be good to get the property sold. And that's something you're running into right now. That's why the agent matters more than ever. And what we're seeing now is kind of an equalization in the market right now, where the ones that are super overpriced aren't getting sold. The ones where the agents are just put MLS are not getting sold. And if they do sell, what's happening is they're selling for undervalue because they're not getting the right exposure like they need to. And so when I sought out, I said, how do we have a system that we can design that's predictable, that we can stack the dominoes? And so what we do there is we make sure we line up everything that has to happen the right way. We back it up by 2 things. Number 1, we back it up by a team of people. We have 35 plus buyer agents. We have 2 listing partners, inside sales, outside sales, VIP concierge. We have full-time videographer, photographer, full-time graphic designer. All of these things are on staff at all times so that I can control the variables versus having to depend on somebody else outside of organization to do so. And the second thing you back that up with is technology. And so we have a team of people, we have technology. We spend hundreds of thousands of dollars in technology, making sure that we can control the right things happen, the right order every single time. And what that does is it creates small gaps for us in small places, but you add all those 118 different variables up, it creates a massive gap between us and everyone else, aka the competition at the end. And that's how our properties sell faster. And so that system I designed is called the Guaranteed Sold System, the only proven system to sell them twice as fast and for up to 20% more money than traditional methods. And it works very, very, very well. And I designed it. We licensed it to other agents in other parts of the country. It's exclusive to us here, and it works very, very well. That's what's got us in Forbes and Wall Street Journal. So we saw it out and did something different. It's worked very, very well for a very long time. And so that's how we help your property sell faster and more money, where most agents just wing it. When you sit down with them, they don't even have a program. They don't really have a process. They don't have anything they can show you that's tangible, that's designed to get your property faster, sold faster for more money. And that's exactly what we do. And so you owe it to yourself to at least investigate that. Your friends and family owe it to themselves to at least know about it from you and be able to investigate that further, learn from it. And here's the deal. On the flip side, for buyers out there, it's a very difficult market to navigate right now because there's just a lot less listings out there, a lot less opportunity, and there's still a decent amount of competition, especially when you add high interest rates in there. And so you want a true expert who can help guide you in that process. It also has a system that can help differentiate you in the process and get you the absolute best advantage. And so for home buyers out there, we created an unfair advantage home buying system, get you priority access to foreclosures, distress sales, desperate sellers, but most importantly, the absolute best negotiation and purchase price, as well as negotiation, the home inspection, to get you that closing table successfully. And then also after the closing, we always support our clients for life. We want to make sure you get the best deals in from vendors. So we're constantly searching vendors, find the most aggressive ones who give the best deals to our clients, who actually show up, who do what they're supposed to do. And that's how we help serve them. We want to have clients for life. And that's exactly what we do. Everyone on our team goes through a process of training where they're a certified real estate expert, and they're able to guide our clients. And we really pride ourselves on one thing. We tell our clients what they need to hear, not what they want to hear. And so those tough conversations a lot of times allow us to get to that result faster and to get more money for our clients, because we're here putting out there. We work on this together versus most agents putting out there. And so I made a promise years ago I was going to talk about that every week, because if I did anything in one show, it would be to share that mistake that so many people make just going with any old agent. They'll spend 20, 30 years building a hard-earned equity and 15 minutes picking an agent. And so the reality is you owe it to yourself to protect your assets. You owe it to yourself to protect your largest assets, which is real estate, and reach out to someone who's obviously top ranked and who obviously has a great program in place to get that for you. If you want to know more how that works, reach out to us. Give us a call at 843-808-SOLD or BlakeSloan.com. Quick break, right back in a second.
In the market to buy or sell a home right now, every detail means dollars, and who you hire to negotiate your home, that really matters. Hey, Sean Hannity here, and as an active investor who invests in real estate all across the great country of ours, I want the best negotiator representing my interests. I'm talking about Blake Sloan of Sloan Realty Group. He can help you navigate through multiple cash offers, and more importantly, he has turned complicated situations into 5-star reviews. Now check out his rave reviews on Google. Talk to him yourself. If you are on trial with big money at stake, you would want a seasoned negotiator with thousands of victories. If they will take you on and you can afford them, right? Well, your home deserves the best representation. Know your options. See how much demand your home can command in this market right now, and get the best representation that you deserve. Call Blake Sloan today at 808-SOLD. That's 808-SOLD. Or online at BlakeSloan.com. That's BlakeSloan.com.
Hi, I'm Barbara Corbett. I'm excited to connect with Blake Sloan, the only real estate agent in Myrtle Beach that I recommend. You offer several options to home sellers, which really takes away the stress.
That's right. For sellers in a time crunch, we can agree to sell it on a certain date, take cash for it, or even rent.
That's great. And if the seller has a bit more time,
We use our proven marketing plan to sell it for the highest price.
work with my friend Blake Sloan and get your home sold on your terms.
Welcome back to the Blake Sloan, a real estate show. Speaking of Sean Hannity there, Sean and I have an appointment on Monday to record some new spots. So look out for those on the station. Super excited about that. We'll have some new spots recorded that have him and I both just talking about some new cool stuff. And so I've been working on that this week, and we'll have those recorded on Monday, probably processed the next week or so. Hopefully we'll have those on the next show or the week after. So looking at real estate market overall, still rock and rolling, actually pretty good. Remember the two things we track on this show? We talk about two types of numbers. We call them the front windshield numbers. That's like what's happening real time. I want to keep my pulse on the market. If I'm thinking about my assets and what's happening, that's the number one question I get when I go anywhere from anyone is like, hey, what's the market doing? And so that's what I feel like provide the most value on the show is just, hey, keep you updated each week, right? So real time numbers, I track this in my office every single day. We have a morning huddle. First thing, we all get together and we talk about, certain things in real estate and set a goal for the day. But one of the things we talk about is, hey, look, what's happened in the last 7 days on average in our marketplace. And we do that. And so we talk about two main things: how many properties went under contract, what the volume was, and also look at what's out there inventory wise. And so last week's show, there was 549 properties went under contract. This week, the last 7 days, 553. So up a little bit, which is great. We did see rates bump back down a little bit, which is great. Looking at inventory right now, 835 active single family properties on the market in Horry County. Last week's show was 837. So very, very, very close. Interesting though, this week only 5 properties over $1 million went under contract, where last week's show had 17 properties over $1 million. But this week had some really big ones. $6.2 million property went under contract in Deborah. But a lot of other stuff out there as well. And that kind of fluctuates based on that. But seeing 5 only was very, very interesting kind of for that. Usually we're talking 15 to 20 a week. Like I mentioned, last week's show was 17. Right now, 84 properties are 500,000, and last week's show, 86 properties are 500,000. Still almost neck and neck, right where it was. The volume was 195 million this week. Last week was 210 million. So we see that bump around. Long as we're close to 200 million, it means we're rock and rolling here as a market place in general. Go back to Just if you go back to January, it was terrible back then. It was only 364 properties for 125 million. We're way over that right now, almost $80 million more. So great news there. Looking at the overall MLS numbers for anybody that missed last week's show, sales were down 19.6% year over year. So if you look at May versus May, obviously those numbers are always in arrears. The one thing I caution about, though, is if they closed last month, which is May, you wanted a contract 30 to 60 days prior to that. And so that's why I track those real-time numbers we just show you. But here's what's happening. It was up 13% month versus month. So if you look at April, 427 properties sold, May, 492, which is great. But if you look at last May, one of the best months of the year, it did start to decline. That's when we're going to see that continually happen, because obviously that's when rates started going up in March last year. They've kind of continued going down, which is interesting there as well. Now, sales price, which is kind of the most important one. Sales prices are flat year over year. So last year, May, 379,900. This May, same exact thing, 379,900, 0.0% change. We have seen it bump around month versus month. And that's also because it is a little bit seasonal, right? We're coming into the summer months. You're seeing it bump back up a little bit as well, because it tends to be higher when you're talking about summer months overall. In that average sale price right now, up 1.7% year over year, which is good news. $482,678, which is great. Overall, it's very close to the record, which was last April. The all-time high hit 488,186, and so we're very, very close to that. So average sale price is still crushing it, doing very, very good in that overall in that scenario. And then, sorry, we actually had one more high than that. The highest record was April this year, 496,294, and then it dropped down to 482. I knew I missed something there. So April this year had the highest record of all time, 496,294. It did come down a little bit month versus month, where it does bounce around. And a lot of that has to do with inventory, what's available out there, what properties are on the market. We see that fluctuate, but we made a big deal when we got to right at the 500,000 mark for average sale price here on the Grand Strand, which is great. Month supply, it's still very, very low, meaning inventory is still at a record low. Overall, it's still what we consider a super seller's market, meaning that if you're a home seller, you have the advantage right now. It's only 2.7 months of inventory. Anything less than 6 months is a seller's market, meaning the seller has the advantage. You go back to just April 2020, there was 4.7 months inventory. Right now, we're at 2.7 months inventory. And so very, very tight. Everyone's kind of talked about that. It just has so many people are locked in at very low interest rates, right? They don't have to sell. They're locked in at 2 and 3% right now. It's at 6.95 today. And so we just see that happening right now, but it's a great advantage for home sellers that do want to sell and have investment properties, or they have estate sales, they're relocating or downsizing, whatever it is, because there's a lot of buyers out there that you can really get great prices for. One of which we had someone who was downsized. We got her $40,000 more than she even thought possible. We got multiple offers on her property. We'll share that today as well, which is super, super interesting. Overall, looking at condo market's very, very similar to housing right now. Condo sales down 17.9% year over year, 522 condo sales last month. Sales price up 3.2% for average sale price year versus year. Right now, 285,000 is the new average sale price. It's an all-time high, which is great. 285,508, the highest it's ever been here on the Grand Strand, and also a new record for median price for condos at 249,700. So both those are new records overall. And so we're just seeing prices be very, very well insulated here. Myrtle Beach is a very high demand area. We talked on a couple weeks ago on our show, just how many people are moving here, all the great national articles and really things we're getting from accolades of everyone coming into Myrtle Beach. So it's great, great news for home sellers out there, condo sellers as well. Inventory is still very, very low for condos at 2.8 months of inventory. And so as someone will keep watching overall and just seeing, I think that the key part here is if you're thinking about selling, you want to play the seasonality to your advantage. We're in that summer market. We just had the summer solstice, right? First day of summer. And so right now is when you see everyone coming in town. We've been talking to for months and months and months on our website. And then what happens is they combine their vacation with their home purchase. And so you want to make sure your property is teed up, ready to go. So do it sooner rather than later. If you're thinking about it, anybody you know out there looking for more information, you can also just come to our website. If you want instant home value, you can go to sloanrealtygroup.net. We have a new tool where you can get an instant cash offer if you want right on our website. You can also get your home valuation on there instantly. It's a great, great tool. We spend thousands of dollars a month just on that one tool right now because it has the absolute best data. We can get you an instant offer right online. You can go to blakesloan.com and get that. You can Google Sloan Realty Group. It's on both those sites. And just some great, great news. Looking at interest rates. Last week's show was 6.94. Right now we're at 6.95. It did bump up close to 7. It came back down. A 30-year fixed rate mortgage right now, 6.95%. A 15-year fixed rate, 6.32%, a 30-year jumbo loan, 6.7%, a 5-year adjust rate mortgage, 6.94%, a 30-year FHA loan, 6.63%, and a 30-year VA loan, 6.65%. So still rock and roll under 7%. We'll take that. I told my team anytime we're getting the summertime months, being under 7% right now, I'll take it. And we're still seeing that moving properties. Our team's been absolutely crushing it, but also the MLS on average right now with 195 million in property under contract the last 7 days, which is awesome. So quick break, right back in a second with a hot buyers alert.
WRNN listeners, Clay Travis here. As investors in real estate, Buck and I both know exactly what to look for to find the agent with the best tools and marketing to get the highest sales price possible for a home.
Totally true, Clay. And here in Myrtle Beach, that agent is our friend Blake Sloan.
About 7.5 minutes.
If you
Okay,
sell
perfect.
a home and buy a new one, ask Blake about his guarantee.
Get this, Blake guarantees to sell your home at a price and deadline you agree to, or he'll buy it himself. And since you know when your current home will sell by and for how much, you can buy your next home without worrying about getting stuck with 2 mortgages.
There's simply no other agent in the market who has a guarantee that will line up against what Blake Sloan can offer you. So when you're looking to sell and buy, he is your guy. Read nearly 750 5-star reviews by Googling Sloan Realty Group. Give Blake a call today and start packing. That's Sloan Realty Group.
And tune in to Blake's shows Saturdays at 9 a.m. and Sundays at 11:30 a.m.
Welcome back to the Blake Sloan Real Estate Show. Hot buyers alert. My team and I are working a ridiculous amount of home buyers looking to buy here. The Myrtle Beach Grand Strand area, anywhere from $250,000 to $4.3 million. If you're thinking about selling, please give us a call immediately, 843-808-SOLD. It's 843-808-SOLD. One thing we've been doing this show for about, 10 plus years is putting our money where our mouth is. And one thing we do is I say, look, here's how many active buyers we have right now. We talked a minute ago how inventory is still very, very, very low. It's a super seller's market. And we literally have more buyers than we do properties for sale out there. And so everyone asks us, like, what makes you different? And so the difference is we outspend the average real estate agent from a marketing standpoint 100 to 1. So we have a much bigger exposure. We're bringing buyers from all across the globe to your property. And so the best way to kind of look at that, I talked about the story before, is if you had a classic Corvette, you can take the classic Corvette and get it sold today, drive it to the Walmart parking lot here on 501 or 544, put it in the Walmart parking lot, put a sign on it, you're probably going to sell it. But does that mean you're going to sell that classic Corvette for the most amount of money? Absolutely not, right? If you take the same classic Corvette and you get it to a much larger pool of qualified buyers, guess what happens? Price tends to go up because you have more qualified buyers who see the classic Corvette, who are going to bid on that Corvette and get that price up. And so if you took the same classic Corvette and put it every single Corvette enthusiast website, every Corvette enthusiast magazine, got national exposure for that Corvette, guess what happens to the price? It goes up and it sells a lot faster. It's the same exact thing that we do with your home sale. And I'm spending tens of thousands of dollars a month every month before you ever even call me. And so one thing we do is share every single week how many active home buyers that we have on our website. And these people have a username, password, account. They're searching our site daily. 72,617 active home buyers. It's 72,617 active home buyers, where if I was a single agent, like most agents out there doing this thing by myself, I would be out of business because you can't keep up or pay for it. 72,617 active buyers. But with our team, we have 35 buyers experts, the listing team, inside sales, outside sales, a team of specialists who specialize in what they do. And so our team reaches out to the buyer, serves them, and obviously they're incentivized to bring buyers to our listings, which is how they sell faster and for more money. And so we don't have a listing that matches it. Great. We take them to MLS and show them something else, but we sell a lot more of our properties double ending. And we also push a lot harder where we have technology that takes any new listing, specifically your house, and reverse engineers the most likely buyer for that property based on their previous search patterns. And it allows us to be much more aggressive and sell those properties faster because we have technology, we have a team of salespeople, but more importantly, we have 72,617 active home buyers right now from all over. And it's like right now, just looking at the site, pulling up, I have Joanne Redmond from Spartanburg, South Carolina. I've got Hope from San Francisco, California. I've got Jason Upright from Cleveland, Ohio. Here you go. Here's a cool one. I got Lynn Perry from, can't even say it, Honolulu, Hawaii on here. Sharon Tedesco from Brooklyn, New York. I got Elizabeth Thomas from Lynchburg, Virginia. Rob from Ontario. I got Buck from Drexel Hill, PA. Betty from Brooklyn, New York. I got Brinky from Hanover, PA. and I got Buffalo, New York on here, Wyandotte, Wyandotte, Michigan, all over the place. And so the difference here is that we have buyers if we ever pick up that phone to call us. And so if you don't want to go that traditional route where agents put put the sign out and they're just waiting to kind of run through, and you got this long marathon process, we have a system that gets them sold faster for more money. We have a hybrid type model. We can match up buyers, what we call buyers in waiting, and get it sold faster for you. So if you're thinking about selling, reach out, call us. If you know anybody come across thinking about selling, have them reach out and give us a call. 843-808 sold. Our team's absolutely been crushing it and hustling super hard. We're a lot of agents just going by the wayside, just kind of doing whatever in a market that has been contracting. So super cool right now. Big shout out. Awesome success story here. Pearlie, she owned a home in Myrtle Beach. It was starting to become harder for her to take care of it by herself because she's getting a little bit older. She wanted to get to an independent living home where she could have help if needed, but also be active with other people in her community. She had met with a couple of investors who gave her lowball offers. She didn't want to go traditional route. She had reached out online to some investors. Guess what they did? Lowball offers. We were basically trying to take her art and equity. Thankfully, Pearlie was referred to Sloan Group. We met with Pearlie, shared our guaranteed sold system, how we can do the same exact thing, get a lot more money for it. Designed a custom plan, launched our global marketing blitz, professional photos, a virtual reality walkthrough, drove massive traffic, creating multiple offers on her home. She chose to go with the offer that was as is and $40,000 more than she originally thought was even possible to get for her home. Now she's able to sell her home with confidence, put maximum money in her pocket from her hard equity, and move on to a new place, which is super, super awesome as well. And we do this week after week after week, but that's a difference there. A $40,000 phone call she made just by coming to us, and that's more than she thought. Really, if you look at compared to the investors, it's $80,000 more than the investors were willing to pay for a property. And so that's why you want to make sure you come to someone like us really quick. I know we have 2 minutes left. Big shout out to our team. Huge news coming out. National news where the Blake Sloan team of Sloan Group was named one of America's top 1,000 professionals by Real Trends in the Wall Street Journal. Right, we've been on this list before. This year we came in number 58 in the nation of all agents, all teams, anywhere, right, across, and that's over 1 million agents. We'll talk about. I can't get the exact number. It's on here in a second, but we came in number 58 there, number one in Myrtle Beach of all real estate teams. Anybody out there that promises they're number one, they did not have any more than us in terms of sales. 732 properties for $191,643,546 sold last year in 2022. They break it down by individuals, by teams, by large teams and mega teams. We're a mega team, which is the largest one. And we came in the top 0.5% of more than 1.5 million realtors nationwide. And that comes down to our team. So I want to thank all of our clients out there, all our listeners out there who've just really been referring business to us, who come to us, a lot of loyal listeners who buy and sell with us, and just very, very appreciative to you all, appreciative to our team. And so we're very, very thankful for your support. So great show. We'll see you guys back here next week, same time.